And here's another number that caught our attention, Tim. $36 billion. That's how much American businesses spend each year to try to combat violence on the job. You have some recommendations for companies, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing and foremost, the company's got to take a stance against workplace violence, bullying, harassment, all those negative things. Secondly, companies got to do a better job of controlling the flow of the people, the vendors, and the visitors in and out of their buildings. They just have too many entrances and exits that all these different types of people visiting or working there are utilizing, which makes it very easy for the perpetrator to come back, and that perpetrator knows that he or she can come back because of all this ability. So control the flow. And then the last thing that's very important, which we're just starting to see a lot of use on, is that 800 anonymous number. We've got to have a format where coworkers and family and friends can anonymously call in to companies and let them know when someone isn't happy, someone's starting to talk about doing some wrong things or evil things or harmful things, you know. And with this anonymous 800 number, we're finding out that we can discover a lot of this stuff much more earlier in the early stages, and then we can circumvent it.
It sounds like what you're saying, Tim, is that perhaps the lessons that were learned in many of these school shootings that happened across the country should be applied to the workplace. I mean, I think back to Virginia Tech, a story that I covered, and a lot of the red flags that happened at Virginia Tech were overlooked or missed or disregarded, and tragedy happened. And it sounds like there may be red flags just like the ones that you see at school shootings happening in the workplace.
Yeah, you know, my company, Sachs Consulting, we have done extensive interviews across the country, you know, in the different school shootings and the business shootings. And every time we walk away from those interviews and those research projects, we find out that it was not a secret. It amazes us that not only one person knew, several people knew, but everybody tends not to want to talk about it or thinks they shouldn't, whereas we need to change it. You're not being a snitch. You're not telling on somebody. You're actually helping them, and we're just now starting to get a grip on that to convince coworkers, families, and friends that the best thing you can do is help report that so we can get those people some help.